This is going to be a guide on how to get the secret battle pet in World of Warcraft Dragonflight, Spyragos. This is a battle pet that is obviously a reference to Spyro the Dragon. You can't have a dragon-themed expansion without having a, reference to the classic dragon, which is obviously Spyro. Here's the battle pet right here. Nice little purple whelpling for you. Don't mind that Tuskar just jumping off into the water. But let's look at him in the pet journal. Here's Spyragos. There's his abilities and everything. Kind of a secret battle pet, kind of out of the way, not something you might stumble across as you're going through. So we're going to go over how to get that now. The only requirement that you're going to have completed in order to get this pet is to have completed the chapter in the campaign Rathian's Gambit. Now we're looking at the achievement for the Waking Shores quest lines right now. This is the 4th chapter in the zone, Rathian's Gambit. It's right after you go to the Obsidian Citadel, restore the Obsidian Oathstone. If you do this on your main, you will most likely have the campaign done. I'm doing this on an alt, so I did have to go through and complete this chapter of the campaign in order for this to unlock. But as soon as you have Rathian's Gambit done, you're able to come over here to this location on the map. We're all the way up here at the top of the Obsidian Citadel. Coordinates are 2039, and we are standing here at this little party that's going on. So what we're going to do at this party is we're going to be looking for this NPC right here, and she is going to give us the quest. You might be wondering where her quest marker is. You actually have to talk to her first. So we're going to talk to her. We're going to say, "What are you doing here?" And she's going to say, "Anything I want," laugh for a minute, I guess. And then a quest is going to pop up. And we're going to take this quest, A Dragon's Day Off. We're going to see the reward is Spyragos. Now, it obviously says collected 1 out of 1. You can only have one of these pets. So I'm just doing this on my alt in order to show you how to do this. So we're going to go ahead and accept this quest. Now it's going to show up in our quest log here, and we will see that it is to collect a bunch of different drinks. We have to collect all of these different drinks. They're all located around the Waking Shores area, and we're going to go over how to get each and every one. There's a couple extra steps for a couple of them, but let's get started with those. One last thing to note about this NPC, if you do not see her around this area, it's actually because she is a dragon, as most NPCs are in this expansion. And as you can see right here, she's just, taking off, flying away, and she kind of does some laps around this area. We can follow her here for a second. But she kind of just does some laps around the area. So she'll, I think it's like a 1.5-minute cycle where she does some laps and then she comes back over here and lands. So if she's not there, just wait for a minute and she should show up. So the first drink on the list is by far the most complicated. We actually have to buy it from a vendor located in this cave. Now, this cave is right here on the map. That's where we are. And so we're going to go on down here and I will show you the vendor this is not the cave. This is not it. Okay, so for this first drink, it's by far the most complicated. We have to buy it off a vendor inside of this cave. It's located right here on the map. We're going to go ahead and go on in there. I'll show you the vendor. Now, you're going to see that once we get to him, we're actually not going to be able to talk to him. And that is why this first drink is the most complicated out of all of them. So it's this guy right here, Dealer Vexel. Now, he is not friendly to us right now, and we actually have to get him friendly by getting a specific item. Now, we're going to briefly go over how to get this item, but if you don't know much about this endgame zone over here, the Obsidian Citadel, and how all of it works, it kind of all ties in with that. So I would recommend watching my video I posted the other day about the Obsidian Citadel and how that entire weekly hub works. It's an endgame, max level zone. So basically, you have to have this Obsidian Citadel unlocked, which requires you to be max level. And if you know anything about the Obsidian Citadel, you know it's all about turning in keys to different NPCs. Now, what you have to do to get the item that we need in order to talk to the vendor. The item is called the World Breaker Membership. I actually have one on me. How you get this is by turning one of your Obsidian Citadel keys into Aegis the Believer right here. Every time you do that, he'll give you a Twilight Cache. You can repeat it as many times as you want. You can farm up as many keys as you want, turn your keys into him, get a Twilight Cache, and inside your Twilight Cache, you will find a World Breaker Membership. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use this World Breaker Membership now, and we will become a member of the World Breaker Cult. You'll see we have a debuff. What we have to do with this debuff on is go back and talk to the vendor. He will then be friendly to us, and he will let us buy the drink off of him. You see we earned the title. Actually, you can't see the chat down there, but I earned the title the World Breaker. Now this debuff does not persist through death, unfortunately. I learned that the hard way. So make sure you don't die in the 2 seconds that it takes to run down here to the vendor. So yeah, now you'll see we can actually talk to Dealer Vexel, and we can buy the Flameslinger Rum off of him right there. That is the first drink on the list, by far the most complicated. Again, if you don't know anything about the Obsidian Citadel or how to get keys, you're like, what is a key? What is the turn-in thing here? What is a Twilight Cache? Go check out my other video on the Obsidian Citadel. I promise this is the most complicated out of all of these drinks on our list. It's easy going from here on out. So let's hop back over to my character that I actually have the quest on, and we will get the rest of the drinks. Next drink, Riptide Brew. This one's pretty easy. Just go to this cave at these coordinates. They'll be on the screen right here on the map. There's a cave over here with this pirate fella named Lago the Drowned. You can kind of just ignore him and just walk over to his keg over here. And I guess you can't ignore him because you can't click the keg while you're in combat. So let me just murder this guy mercilessly real quick. It looks like I'm getting some help here too, so that's nice. Thank you. So here you go. Right click on the keg, collect the Riptide Brew. There you go, Riptide Brew is done. Next up, Popfizz Punch. This one's going to be located on top of this shipwreck. Here we are on the map, over here off the northern edge of the Waking Shores. Just right up here on this shipwreck, you're going to click on this Popfizz Punch. There you go, nice and easy. Next, we're going to find ourselves over here in the Obsidian Bulwark. Now, there is a couple things we're going to need over here. First things first, the Happy Trigger Sour from First Mate Kaelson. Just buy it off him right there. And while we are here, we're actually going to want to talk to Cora Full Sails. And we're going to browse her goods and buy a Coltier Red. We're going to need this for a upcoming drink. Just make sure you buy one of these while you're here. Keep it in your bags for now. Next up, the Bam Swill. This is located right. So as I was recording this, the next drink up is the Bam Swill, and as I said those words out loud, I actually realized what this is a reference to. This entire quest is a direct reference to the Skylanders games. Now, if you don't know anything about the Skylanders games, first game was called Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. They used Spyro the Dragon as the main drawing point of the game. And you would take the characters and you'd put them on the portal, and they would go into the game and you level them up and such. It was like an RPG-like game. And I played these games a ton when I was a kid. I realized that all of these drinks are named after characters from the game. There's a character named Flameslinger. There's a character named Riptide. There's one named Popfizz, which is actually my favorite character in the game. There's a character named Trigger Happy, so they have Happy Trigger Stout. There's Slam Bam, there's Whirlwind, and Stealthy Elven Port is, there's a character named Stealth Elf. And so all of these drinks are direct references to the Skylanders characters, which is actually crazy. Obviously, Spyro the Dragon is the main character in the game, and so they kind of just threw in all the other Skylanders in there too, which is so interesting to me. I didn't realize that until just now when I was recording this. Bam Swill, here we are. Treehouse, right up here on the map. Super easy. The very top level of the treehouse, just right here. Bam Swill, we're gonna click on it. There we go. Next on our list is the Whirlwind Wine. Now, we're gonna use this Coltier Red we picked up from the vendor previously. And it says, if you notice, it says use throw bottle at current target. So we're actually going to come over here on the map, over in these wetlands areas in the Waking Shores. And we're going to find one of these boys, the Rampaging Winds, and we're going to go ahead and throw it at him. And that will give us a Whirlwind Wine. There you go. So here we are. Last but not least, we have the Stealthy Elven Port. We're in the Obsidian Citadel, right over where Rathian and Spalian are. There's all these vendors with their tents. And the NPC we're looking for is Outfitter Typic. And now I'm not really sure why an outfitter sells food and drink, but he sells us the Stealthy Elven Port, and that is going to complete our list of drinks. All you have to do now that you have all of your drinks, make sure you keep them in your inventory. Don't sell them or delete them until you turn the quest in. It will take them off of your, checked off drinks if you do that. But just wait around here, back where we started the quest. Wait for the dragon lady to come fly down, and you can go ahead and turn it into her. And there you go. You get your Spyragos pet. Nice little pet. awesome reference to Skylanders that I realized as I was going through this. And there you go. That should do it. See ya.